should see it now. So, good morning. My name is Tereza Boďová Hybská, and today I'll present our pilot study titled HRV-based recovery across menstrual cycle phases. This project was conducted at the Faculty of Physical Education and Sport at Charles University in Prague, Czech Republic, with my co-authors. The focus is on how regeneration measured via HRV fluctuates across menstrual cycle phases. Regeneration is a key component of training adaptation and overall health. Heart rate variability, or HRV, is widely used as a non-invasive biomarker to monitor recovery. However, most HRV research is based on men, and women are underrepresented, even though hormonal fluctuations across the menstrual cycle may influence autonomic function and recovery. And therefore, this leaves an important knowledge gap, especially for female athletes. Menstrual cycle has four main phases: menstrual, follicular, ovulatory, and luteal, each characterized by distinct hormonal profiles. Estrogen is often linked with enhanced parasympathetic activity and better recovery, while progesterone dominance in the luteal phase and tends to reduce vagal tone and increase sympathetic drive. This fluctuation may affect readiness, regeneration, and stress responses. That's why it is crucial to explore them systematically. Sorry. Our main aim was to determine whether HRV-based recovery differs across menstrual cycle phases and in regularly menstruating women. And specifically, we asked these two questions. Are there significant phase-related differences in regeneration, readiness, stress across menstrual phases? And do modifiable lifestyle factors such as sleep, illness, and physical activity influence HRV-derived outcomes, potentially even more than the cycle itself? We recruited 20 healthy, physically active women, aged 20 to 43 years, all with regular cycles and no hormonal contraceptives. Each participant contributed between 2 to 4 menstrual cycles, which allowed us to capture within-person fluctuations over time. And all provided informed consent, and the study was approved by our University Ethics Committee. Participants performed daily HRV assessments using the mySASY chest strap along with the accompanying app. Phases were classified individually using self-track cycle data and ovulation kits for higher accuracy. Alongside HRV, participants reported daily lifestyle factors such as sleep, illness, activity, and alcohol use. For analysis, we used non-parametric tests like cross-Coalesce, Conover-Eman, post-hoc comparison, effect sizes with Cleves delta, and generalized additive models to test cycle trends. Correlation with contextual factors were also examined. Here you can see overview of the results, but when we look closer at each parameter, then with regeneration, there were small but significant phase differences, and the highest regeneration was measured in the follicular phase, while lowest in the luteal phase. And the significant contrasts were seen between phases follicular and luteal, and follicular and menstrual, with the highest regeneration in both cases in regeneration. In readiness, the results were similar to regeneration, where the readiness was higher in the follicular phase and lower in the luteal phase, while the effect sizes were small but consistent. And with the stress, the opposite happened. Opposite pattern was measured, where stress was lower in follicular phase and higher in luteal phase. But when we look at the lifestyle factors, there were stronger effects present. Better sleep was consistently linked with higher readiness and regeneration. Illness days were linked with worse recovery and higher stress. and daily steps showed weaker and inconsistent associations. These results highlight that while the menstrual cycle matter, sleep and health status may have more immediate and strong influence on recovery. To summarize, we observed small but consistent cycle-related effects. Recovery tends to peak in the follicular phase and deep in the luteal phase, and these results are in line with literature suggesting that reduced vagal activity in the luteal phase. However, the impact of sleep and illness was more robust, suggesting that practitioners should interpret phase background information and prioritize modifiable factors when monitoring HRV. There were some limitations to the study. Phase classification was based on self-reported and ovulation kits rather than hormone assays, which may reduce precision. The sample was relatively small and composed of recreational athletes. Our outcomes were app-derived indices rather than raw HRV parameters, which could obscure physiological details. And finally, lifestyle factors were self-reported, which may also introduce bias. And in conclusion, menstrual cycle phase exerts a modest effect on HRV-based recovery. The follicular phase is generally more favorable than luteal phase, but the differences are small. Sleep and illness exert stronger influences and should be prioritized in daily HRV interpretation. And for athletes and practitioners, HRV monitoring is most valuable when individualized and contextualized. Future research should integrate hormone-verified phase identification and intervention studies, for example, optimizing sleep and as a strategy for recovery. Thank you.